Hi, I'm Christina Daves, and welcome to this week's edition of Get Seen, Be Heard. My co-host is Karen Yankovic. And what we decided to do this week, we had a guest who had to postpone, but we're so close to 2016 that Karen and I want to work with anybody who comes on and kind of talk about what we do to plan out our year for PR and social media and give you our tips and then see if there's anything we can do to help you guys get going with a successful 2016. So welcome, Karen. Always good to be together.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Christina. Thanks. Thank you all for being here today. Yeah. So we decided that we're going to give this a shot. And if it works, if we've got some good conversations going on, maybe we'll do this on a regular basis, this, guest list show where it's just Christina and I fielding calls from people and, kind of sharing the kinds of things we're doing. So not only am I planning 2016 for my business, but I'm also helping a lot of my private clients plan for 2016. So it is definitely a hot topic in my world this week for sure. I mean, listen, it should have been last month, right? But everybody's trying to get it in. Everybody's trying to get it in.
At least we're doing it now.
Yeah.
I told you, I just ordered my planning calendar. And what's today? December 14th.
I didn't even order mine yet. You guys can see. Can you see? Oh, no, this way. I don't even know how to turn. Oh, I'm turning the wrong thing. I have the camera on the wall. Can you see on the wall? I have one of those calendars on the wall. Well, that's still 2015. So I haven't even bought 2016 yet. So I have to do that still, but I will. So Christina, what's been happening in the PR world this week? Anything of interest?
Yeah, politics right now. I think politics is just going to rule the PR realm until the election. So if there's anything you can do to tie yourself. It is a long time, but it's just, and it's going to get worse, and I say worse because it gets ugly. But if there's anything that your business does that can relate to anything that was brought up in the debates, anything a particular candidate said, should have said, didn't say, I thought it was fascinating. I didn't know this, that Cruz was the national debate champion. Well, that's
really? I didn't know that either. Yeah. That's interesting.
That's interesting, really. And I think it's an interesting pitch or concept. Somebody who can talk about psychology kind of stuff. Right. Like does he win because he's a good actor? Like because he knows the debate, he knows the game. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But I would just follow this political scope and everything that's going on, and see. There's just so much potential for blog posts and guest blog posts and news, anything like that.
Right.
How about you in social media?
Well, I think to me, the big news in social media is Facebook Live for personal profiles.
Oh, is that coming? I don't know if you guys
have heard that. It's here. Oh. It's here. It's not everybody has it. It's been rolling out. I think it started yesterday. Okay. So we had Brian Fanzo on, and Sandra Santorino has been a frequent guest on the show, and both of them got access to it yesterday. So or maybe the day before, but I thoroughly have been enjoying watching to see how they use it. And for me, I don't really use my personal profile that much for business. I mean, I definitely use it. I definitely recognize that, I'm visible and as a social media business owner. So I don't, it's definitely not, I use Facebook in a way that I realize that potential clients might be looking at it, right? That being said, I'll share things like this episode is going live and come join us, and I'll share blog posts on occasion and things like that, but I don't really market too much on it.
Yeah, I do.
But I think that this changes that a little bit, and I'll be interesting to see how it rolls out, because like I have Facebook Live for my business page, and I use it, but if you guys have business pages, like I have 9,000 likes on my business page, and maybe if I go on live on Facebook, maybe if I'm lucky, 10 people are on, right? Facebook doesn't show our business page posts to as many people as they show our personal page posts, right? So I don't have access to it yet. I keep looking at my phone, like constantly waiting for that time that I have that little broadcast button.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what is it? How do we know?
So what will happen is when you go on your Facebook, I don't know if I'll try and see if I can show you guys. So can you see this? Can you see that, Christina?
Yeah, if you turn like that, you can.
Okay, so you see across the bottom here. Well, one of those icons will pop up, and it will have like a radio antenna coming out of it. Mm-hmm. Like like antenna waves coming out of it. And when that pops up, then you just go in like you're posting a regular post on your personal page, but you're live broadcasting. Okay. So I don't think, I mean, it's brand new. So I don't think that, what I'm talking about now is just my initial thoughts on it, right? I don't think that it's going to be a huge, or I don't think for me that I'm going to be recommending, or I'm going to be doing a lot of business chatting on there.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I'm not chatting because I want to hang out with my high school friends, right? I'm chatting because I want to get my name out there, my business out there. So I think we're going to have to find that happy medium for what we would talk about on a live post on Facebook Live on our personal page. But I think it's a game changer. I think it's a game changer because a lot of our friends, I mean, I don't know about you, Christina, you have a little bit more tangible business. You have a book, you have a product, right? My friends and family have no freaking idea what I do. Like, what do? You play on Facebook all day? So I think that, it'll, and not that my friends and family are going to hire me, right? But they know people that might be interested, right? So I think it's going to really allow us to integrate our businesses with our personal Facebook profile in a really interesting way. I also think it's going to be a lot of nonsense, right? Because think about all the nonsense posts that people are going to start doing. If everybody in the world can post on Facebook Live, listen, it's really not happening too much on Periscope, but I don't think everybody's on Periscope the way they're on Facebook. So,
well, that's
a game changer this week.
What's that? Can you do Facebook Live on your personal page and share it to your business page?
Absolutely. You absolutely can, because it just stays live as a post on your personal page. So it's just as if you posted a link to your blog post, or you posted a picture of yourself out to dinner, or you posted a picture of what you ate for lunch, right? It stays on your wall forever. So you can either share it to your business page, or you can grab a link to that specific post and link to it from your business page. Now, keep in mind, if your personal profile has security, has privacy settings implemented, not everybody on your business profile is going to be able to see it, because the Facebook Live post will inherit the security measures that your Facebook profile has. Right. So if you have a profile that's locked down, that only people that you're friends with can see your post, then doesn't matter where you share it, no one's going to be able to see the post except people you're friends with.
So what's the day? Are you just saving a step from taking a video on your iPhone and uploading it?
No, because it's live.
Oh,
so
it's live. Oh, got it. Okay.
They can respond in the chat. So you can go like, hey, what's everybody doing tonight? It's Wednesday night. Check it out here. I'm at the mall and, we're shopping, and look at the Apple store right now. What are you guys doing? And people can respond.
And then when you turn it off,
that's the case now. Yes. And that's the case now with Facebook Live for business pages, right? Okay. Like for Facebook mentions, it's called. But again, it doesn't get shown as many people. So if I go live on mentions, not that many people see it in their feed. If I go live on my personal profile, a lot of people are going to see it in their feed. So I have already started rethinking who am I accepting as a Facebook friend strategy. I get a lot of requests as Facebook friends. And if I have, most of them, 95% of them, I don't know. So I don't know. I accept some of them. I don't accept others. I pretty much try to accept only people that speak English. It's really very random. But now I'm being a little more open-minded and accepting a few more people, because the more people that I'm friends with on Facebook, the more people will see my live post if I ever get given access to it. But they say they're rolling it out to everyone. No limitations. You don't have to be a celebrity. Everybody's going to get it.
Yeah, that is interesting, because I'm the opposite with my Facebook. I'm very guarded with it. So I'm not afraid to post if I'm on vacation, because I don't think my friends and family will come rob me.
Right.
But if it opens up, you have to see, the whole business part of it.
Exactly. I don't know what it will change to, but I do think it's going to change strategies.
Interesting. Very interesting. All right. So Karen, 2016, you just said you're working with tons of clients right now. Talk to us about what should we all be doing with our social media strategy for 2016?
Okay, well, that's a big question.
Notepad, ready.
Yeah, that's a big question. So I think, I'm just going to keep on this live streaming path. I think live streaming is what's going to be huge in 2016. I think that that we all need to have a live streaming strategy. So for example, I spoke to 2 people today, and both of the people have location-based businesses. So their business, one is on an island, so she's looking to do face-to-face business with other people on the island, and one has a storefront, right? So for them, I said I would be periscoping, because on Periscope now, you're let me just see if I can show you this. So on Periscope now, and you may or may not know this, and I don't remember if we've ever talked about this here or not, but on Periscope you get the map now, right, of who's live. Let me just kind of go. I'll just go on to New Jersey because it's just taking a really long time. So you get this map, and you can see this map, right, of who's live. So the people that are red are live, but the people that are blue are the people that are in their 24-hour replay period. And that's new. That's a new feature. So now if I had a premise-based business in 2016, I would make sure that I always had a Periscope that's in that 24-hour window, so that my business always comes up as that location, right? So if you have a store, or if you have a yoga studio or whatever, I would be making sure that, and I would probably try and do it twice a day, right? I'd be trying to make sure that at any time in this, and any day, you've got a Periscope in that replay. So, because what will happen is people are catching on to live streaming, right? They want to see what's happening in their area. So if every time somebody turns on Periscope and looks to see who's broadcasting, I live in northern New Jersey, looks to see who's broadcasting in northern New Jersey, if I'm there every time, especially if I'm a location-based business, that's a huge way to bring new business in. So
I was going to say that's an absolute no-brainer. I used to own, for 10 years, I owned a brick and mortar retail store. And my best friend owns it now solely, but I'm just thinking I need to tell her this. She needs to get on there when they open and when they close, so that she's constantly, and because we attract a lot of younger people too, with jewelry and gifts and purses, and those are the ones who are going to be on there. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah, and with Periscope, I don't want anybody to be overthinking it. Like I overthink it, so I'm preaching to the choir. You overthink it, right? I probably overthink it less than you, but you don't want to overthink it. If you have a jewelry store, just turn it on, and it doesn't matter. Hopefully you've showered and you're clean if you went to work that day, right? So, and you're in the public. So just turn it on and start talking to people and say, I'm so excited today. We've got this, we've got this manufacturer that's going to come by, or, we've got this big sale going on, or whatever's, just talk. Don't overthink it. And when I Periscope, the most popular Periscopes are the ones that I just kind of ramble on, that I say, hey, I'm walking my dog. It's 7 o'clock in the morning, and I figured I'd check in with all my Periscope followers and see what everybody's doing today. I've got a really busy day ahead of me, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not really pitching my business. I'm not selling, but of course I'm sliding in. I have 2 appointments with private clients. I'm doing a workshop for, a LinkedIn workshop here. So I make sure they know what I do, but I'm not pitching myself. It's just a kind of a human interest kind of thing. So you don't have to have this really organized, well thought out strategy. You have to have a strategy. You don't want to just turn on the camera and talk and ramble with no plan at all. But I got to tell you, I'd rather you did that than didn't do it at all. I'd rather you turn on your camera and say, I have no idea what I wanted to talk about, but I just wanted to check in with my Periscope followers. I'd rather you did that than didn't Periscope, if you have a location-based business. If you don't, there's still lots of there's still lots of things you can use Periscope for, right? I mean, I'm not saying it's only for that, but if you're a location-based business,
it's a no-brainer.
I would make Periscope a big part of your social media strategy in 2016.
And you have to remember to turn that location on.
Yes.
That's the key.
That has to be on.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome advice. And some Desiree wrote, don't overthink it. Yes, best advice. I always worry. And what I say relevant, or does anyone give a crap? And Desiree, I feel the same way. I'm like, does anybody really care that I'm talking into my phone? And but when we had Brian on, they do. And they do. And the thing that I really got out of that was it just shows who you are. It shows your authenticity. It shows you're real. You're not reading a teleprompter sales page. That this is the person you would work with if you hired me. I'm this person. So yes. It's
such a great way to cut down the know, like, and trust timeline. It cuts it down in half, probably less than half. I mean, there are so many people that have exploded their businesses in 2016 because of live streaming, because of Blab and Periscope. So no matter what your business is, I would love to see live streaming be a part of your 2016 social media strategy. It doesn't have to be Periscope. It could be Blab. It could be Facebook, right? It could be your Facebook post. But remember that people are interested in silly things like what you had for lunch. They are. It tells people a little bit about who you are. So don't worry that it's people don't care. They don't have to, it doesn't have to be a huge thing. I'm actually staring right now on right behind my camera. I have a product that my friend Kate Tracy created. It's called 365 Days of Posts. And it just gives you like prompts, what you could post about. And like on this week, it's, ask your followers, waffles or pancakes. Do you know what I mean? Like, does that matter to my business? No, but it gives you, like if you got onto Periscope and said, I just want to, we had a discussion this morning over, right. And I want to know, are you a waffle person or a pancake person? Like, it sounds silly, but it brings your personality out, and you gotta slide in the little, well, when I speak to my clients, or, I did this LinkedIn workshop last week, make sure you're letting people know what you do, but understand that you don't have to get on there and teach LinkedIn every time you turn on Periscope.
Right. You're seeding what you do. You're just letting people know this is what I do.
Right. So what about you, Christina? What's like the first thing you're giving people? I guess, would it be the elections, or is there other?
No. So what I tell everybody to do is make a 12-month plan right now. Just write down January, February, March, April, May, June, and think about every month what happens in that month that could be related to your business that you could possibly pitch a story. January, Super Bowl. Do you have anything related to any of the ads? Or your product-based business? This would be my Super Bowl ad, but I can't afford it. Something fun that you could do on YouTube or Periscope, something like that. But every month, Valentine's Day, if you're an accountant, obviously April is huge. I think most states are the same. I live in Virginia, but the laws change every July and every December. Well, what do those laws do to your industry, to your business? So just go through and kind of outline so you have it. So when you want to pitch the media, it sounds like what you have up on your wall, the 365 days of posts, but really what's applicable to your business. And then you can really start thinking about, oh yeah, I could, because you really want to pitch the media every single month. Again, right. You're staying front of mind so that they may or may not bite. They may be interested. They may be interested later, but you're always front of mind. So if there's breaking news or trending news, or a statistic comes out, a report comes out, they'll be like, oh, Karen's been sending me this stuff, every month. I remember her. Let me see what she has to say.
Perfect. I love that. Yeah. Well, if anybody wants to jump on now, I think we're ready to, kind of have you jump in. So, yeah. And I'd love for you guys to be.
And I can help you with that. Like if you want to hop on and, get some brainstorming. Oh, here we go.
Oh, this is David, Christina, the guy that I just interviewed you.
Yeah. I told him he could come on.
Hey, so nice to see your face.
Hey, hello there. How are you, ladies?
I'm great. So good to see you here.
Yes, glad to be here. Thanks for all the help so far. I'm interested in learning more from you.
Yeah, so David and I had a call the other day, and he's telling me some stuff he's doing, and I was like, you really need Christina. And you said, you need Christina first, because there's some really hot things happening, and I'll let you talk about what you're able to talk about, David. I'm not going to share that, but
yeah, then we can talk about because I said, David, come on, and we'll talk. We can share with everybody, how you progress in this PR thing and why we have to take these certain steps. So can you tell people about your product? Are you at that point?
Yeah, absolutely. We are in the process of developing a product aimed at what we're terming pre-weight room aged athletes. So youth athletes that maybe don't have access to a weight room. And it's designed for neck strengthening as a part of a concussion risk reduction. So it's good for them it's going to reduce the risk of neck injury and other injuries as well. Probably increase performance a little bit, which a lot of our products are all about. But it's also, research is indicating that a stronger neck and supporting muscles helps avoid concussion risk a little bit. Can't ever completely avoid it entirely, but it's going to help.
Yeah, which and we talked about. I have two athletes that are, high school age. So, and I get it. I've got a hockey player, I've got a volleyball player. There's a lot of concussions there. But what David and I spoke about this morning is they've got, you've got this movie coming out with Will Smith on Christmas. It's all about concussions. This is just a great time to pitch, but they don't have a website ready yet. And you really, if you start pitching the media before you're ready for them to come see something, you're going to lose that, because they're not. Very few are going to put you in as a source or a resource or anything like that if you don't have the credibility to back it up.
Yes. So I've been a part of this company officially full-time just since August. We really didn't start developing the product until late September. So all of our resources really have been on making sure, been burning up, making sure that we're developing the product as best we can and getting all the knowledge we can and making some connections to make sure that it's really going to be a helpful product. And we're feeling really good about that, but yes, some of the other things have yet to be done.
But once they are done, and then just to give everyone an idea why you think outside of the box, so we're not going to be ready next week for Christmas, obviously, but you have Oscar season, and apparently this movie's getting all kinds of Oscar buzz, so if they're nominated, it's a perfect time to step right back into the media, because this is going to be such a hot topic again.
Yeah, that was a great idea, Christina. Christina brought that up before, and that gives us like a second peek on the publicity just a couple of months away. So thank you for that.
Yeah, good.
Well, then I'm going to revise my recommendation, David, and say maybe we do need to talk now, because now we have a month to help build up some of the buzz around it on social media before you're ready to start pitching with PR to the Oscars. And truthfully, that's why we do this show, because, bless you, Christina.
Sorry.
That's why we do this show, because, when you can marry these two, social media and PR, it escalates everything. It really escalates all of your visibility, I think.
Yes. Yeah, so Karen, could you tell us a little bit about what you shared with me about the timeline for a launch of a product, what you would like to do as a social media person?
Yep. So, in a perfect world, if I was going to help somebody with their product launch, I want a 6-month contract, and I want a good 2 months. I probably even prefer 3 months before the product is even ready to start building up the buzz, because maybe 2 months. I mean, 2 months is probably enough, because when the product is ready, and Christina and I have a client that we share, that we actually ran into this issue with. Their product is already ready. Christina found a fabulous opportunity to pitch them, and I wanted to go in on Twitter and start to tweet these people to try to get in front of them, but they had 5 Twitter followers. So I was like, that is actually a detriment to your pitch. So if by the time you're ready to pitch social media, you have 500 Twitter followers or 1,000 or 2,000 Twitter followers, that makes the pitches, the PR pitches, when your product is actually ready, it gives them a lot more power, because we can use Twitter to reach the same people. And, that's where numbers matter. And that's it's funny that I've been talking about numbers a lot in the last couple of months. Because a lot of people are like, well, I want authentic followers. And I agree, but if you're pitching a product and you want people to think you're for real, if you have some numbers, it just supports that, right? So I like to have some time, in a perfect world, 2 months before, in 2 months, I could probably get somebody from 0 to maybe, I could shoot for 2,000. It's probably going to be between 1,000 and 2,000 followers. So, I mean, listen, it could be more depending on some techniques we use, but if we're looking for targeted, authentic followers, right, that's a number that I would be able to promise, right?
Karen, you kind of said that very quickly, but I want everyone to understand that authentic followers, you can buy Twitter followers, right, and be really careful before you hire somebody who's like, oh yeah, I can grow your list. Well, you don't want just anybody. You want your potential customers, people who are going to buy from you or engage with you, that kind of stuff. You don't want just random anybody. And that's what Karen does. That's different from what a lot of other people do.
Well, that's true, Christina. And, the thing is, if people start to see the people that are following you, they can tell if it's just garbage. If everybody's got an egghead, right? If there's no profile pictures, right, or if nobody speaks English, right? There's very likely those are followers that you bought. So if you're pitching NBC and NBC looks at your Twitter followers and they look like they're all, I mean, these people are savvy. These people, right, that are, these PR people, the people that are, looking for these products that work for these media companies, they're savvy enough to know. But if they look at your followers, and your followers, like in your case, David, if your followers were people that, I mean, obviously I could be a follower, and that doesn't mean because I'm interested in your product, doesn't mean you wouldn't know that by my profile, right? So it's definitely not 100%, but if they see that there's a consistency to solid followers, like when we work with people, we want to make sure that their followers themselves have at least 250 followers, so that we know they're active on Twitter. What's the point of having, of having followers that are never on Twitter? So that translates to number one, it makes you get the power of authenticity with the power of the numbers. But number two, if people are checking out your followers to see if it's for real, they're going to check out.
Right. So let me ask you this, Karen. We have an account started for the new product we haven't been active with yet at all, but the brand that I've been managing, Bullet Belt, we've got over 3,000. I've got over 3,000 followers on a personal account, and we've also got another brand with about 500, the Halo Swim Bench. Does that get looked at? Is that something that if we were making a pitch that would matter?
Listen, if you had no followers on the new product, then yes, you could use those. But in a perfect world, you have some followers on the new one. So what I would be doing right now, if I were you, David, is I would be logging in as the new product and their Twitter account and following a lot of the followers that you have on the Bullet Belt Twitter account.
Okay.
And hopefully a lot of them will follow you back because they'll kind of see some synergies. Maybe they'll recognize some of it. So I would do that to try to, that's like the low hanging fruit, right? To try to bring some of the followers over from there. And that should be a pretty quick way to grow it. And then from there, you would want to be a little bit more targeted. But yes, they can all be combined together. But at the end of the day, they're going to be looking at the product and the brand itself.
Okay.
Now, if the company itself, and I guess I don't know enough about your strategy. So the company that developed these products, if you don't have to have individual Twitter accounts for every single product. You could just use the company, and the company can be talking about their new
products.
Right. And then you have the economy of scale, where everything's under one and that number can be grown more quickly. When you spread it out the way you have, it makes it a little more difficult because people have to follow 3 different accounts. So I'd have to know a little bit about the strategy that got you to where you are with 3 different accounts, and it definitely could make sense to do that. I'm not saying it doesn't, but it does make it a little more challenging.
The strategy started out with the one account is strictly a swim and triathlon crowd, and the other account is primarily track and field and football. They don't mix a whole lot, so we started them purposefully in those opposite directions. This new product, Shingo Imara, which means strong neck in Swahili, is really been across a lot of different sports and a lot of different aspects of life. So it's a little bit different, again, than what the other two have been.
And you know what? I guess I would say that I still think it could be all done under one brand. Like for me, I have one Twitter account, and I have corporate clients, and I have, small business entrepreneur clients, and, friends and family and colleagues. And they, so not every post is, not everybody will relate to every single post, but there's enough of a mix of posts that cross all of those different lines for me. So I think you could still do that under the main brand, but I'm not asking you to change anything because what you've got is working for you. I'm just kind of laying that out there that's a possibility. And that if we had further conversations, we could dig into that a little bit, but I don't want you to change anything based on just me, kind of throwing things out off the top of my head here.
Right. Those are things we've debated.
It's all under fitness. And I think that you can have that. And then if it's all under fitness, it might actually be easier to get people to share things because, I can think of I have a few fitness clients that might be willing to share that stuff for you as well. And if I say to them, I need you to share things from this Twitter account, that's a lot easier than saying these 3 Twitter accounts,
Got it. Yeah. Yep. So I have done that a little bit more with my LinkedIn account after working with Karen, watching a webinar that you did about 2 weeks ago. And that is a little bit of everything under there, trying to connect. And I'm about 1,600 connections, probably I would say a higher percentage of targeted connections than I've got on any other platform at this point. So that's worked really well. I really appreciate the advice at getting us going with that.
Well, and that's about you, less about the brand and more about David, the guy that has all of these great brands in underneath, in his bag of tricks, So, so Harry Yazin is saying, do you guys realize there's a new thing on Blab? Look up the comments in your Blab. You see a map. If you don't see it, you might need to refresh. New Perry Yazin as of this minute? Like how new? I don't know how to refresh the comments.
Should we trying to come in? Should we see?
Sure.
Hello, everybody.
Always
hey.
This is just because I think it just launched like a few minutes ago. There's like a new thing that if you just refresh and come back, because I know if you guys refresh, everything's gonna go, but I'm just trying to let you guys know when you guys go like to another Blab or anything, you're gonna see a map, and you're gonna see like, for example, there's dots on the map like where you localize that. And the hosts, yes, and it goes by colors. So the hosts are, for example, let's say Christina, Karen, you guys are the hosts. So you guys, a host goes on, let's say, a green button. And then the people that are watching you are with other color. So it gives you the location, where's everybody at, but not the location, like the, it says like, so you won't know who is with the location is, So,
that's so, were you here in the beginning of this Blab? Because we were just talking about how valuable that feature is on Periscope in the beginning of this Blab.
She said, Desiree just said, when I refresh the screen, a message said introducing maps.
Well, I'm gonna refresh, Christina. So I'm gonna jump out and come back.
Yes.
I'll let you guys keep talking.
So you can see how it is like.
Oh, okay, so she's going to refresh. Thank you. That's a great tip.
No problem. So you can see how it is. So when they come back, you can go ahead and refresh that.
Yeah, because we were just talking about the value.
This is so cool. Let's see.
Here we go.
Wow.
So for example, let's say you're the host. So you're gonna be in one. So you guys are in the States, correct?
Yep, I'm in New Jersey. I'm looking to see right now if I can find me. Although the map is awfully. I'm not on the map at the moment, I don't think. But it's like a terrain map. Like I want the preschool map. Do you know what I mean? Like I can't see. Like I want New Jersey to have a line around it. You know what I mean? I don't want to have to figure out by where the mountains are, where I am.
Yeah, nobody knows
I do see
how it is
people
like
in Central Jersey. I don't see me.
Mm.
Cool.
Just a quick tip for you guys, just to know.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead and spread the word.
Yes, we definitely will.
Thank you.
Very
Blab
cool.
is still in beta, so there's good changes all the time.
Yes.
Yeah. Now I wonder if, I guess when we're done here, we can play with it a little bit and see what Blabs are in our area. I guess I don't see Christina. Let me see. Actually, this might be you. I'm actually looking.
What happens if I refresh? Are we good since you're a host too?
Am I still a host? Yeah, I'm still a host.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So you should be able to refresh.
All right, I'm gonna do the same thing.
Fun stuff.
So I'm gonna go ahead and spread the word to everyone and just go and let them know.
Yes, thanks for jumping in here and sharing that with us.
No problem. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks, you too. Cool stuff. Ugh. Now I have more to think about with
Yeah, it just popped up. There you go.
So when I scroll up, Christina, when I zoom in, I don't see me, but I do see somebody in your neck of the woods, I guess I'm going to go with.
How do you
I don't know if it tells me it's you or not, but very cool. Oh, we have to play with that later and see what it does.
All right, back to PR and social media.
This is social media. This is social media.
That is social media. You're right. And
so, Christina, you also outlined for me in our call today what just was really logical and pretty much common sense, but probably might escape a lot of us as we're trying to figure things out about starting locally and then working up. Could you kind of review that for everybody?
Yeah, that's David's in Michigan. So what I did is I was asking him, what are your big TV markets in Michigan? We established Detroit and Lansing because it's a lot easier to get local publicity talking about a local business who has this new product. And of course, yours with the concussion, I mean, that's just right now that's just such a huge topic, and especially with student athletes. So I'm fairly confident you would be able to get coverage locally. And obviously it's a national issue, but the Today Show, Good Morning America, Fox News, they are not going to put you on until they've seen that you can be on television, that you can handle yourself, that you're not going to, blah, 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 blah. So I always tell people, you've got to get some of that footage. And I said, even if we just get one, that we could use that clip and then send on to national outlets. You just really need to get that one, at least one local under your belt.
And where do print and radio fit in on that whole spectrum?
Same thing. It's always easier to get local media coverage. It just is, because they're not getting the Wall Street Journal's getting 100,000 pitches. The Lansing Star is getting 500. It's all a numbers game at that point. But, I say media begets media. So if your local media finds it interesting, and then your regional media finds it interesting, and then you obviously have a national topic, that's a hot topic. So you can take all those little articles, and it shows your quotes and your expertise and, what you have to say, and it gives them a sense of what their national article could be, or, national radio program or television program.
Excellent.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And for me, I'm in the New York City market, so local for me is not local, really. For me, it's, the Today Show is Matt Lauer, not somebody local. But, that's kind of an excuse I think I make, because I definitely there's local media that I don't take advantage of. So that's part of my 2016 plan, is to really, Christina, I love your idea of a calendar, of like kind of trying to associate each month with what. Something. Yeah, something in my business. I'm going to put that on my to-do list, because, anything that makes it easier for me, because I'm not, I've got the great ideas, but I'm not really good at writing the pitches. I'm just not. So anything that can make that easier for me, I'm all in for. If I know what to say, like Christina and I did a Haro workshop last week or the week before on how to use Haro, and I got so many great tips out of that, because I'm just. She'll send me them. Like, I even have them handed to me, respond to this one. And I don't do it because I'm not very good at writing those pitches, so if I know it's January, and maybe I could, kind of angle it to something I've already predetermined, that would make it easier for me. And I love that.
Cool. Good.
Yeah. So in case people don't know, Haro is Help a Reporter Out. I've been following that now for a couple of months at somebody's good suggestion. I don't remember where I learned about it at first, maybe one of you. And I believe I'm going to have a contribution in the Harvard Business Review coming up.
Oh my gosh, fabulous.
Just a little quote just from this week. So we'll see how that all works out.
So the social media person in me is saying, once that's out there, that's forever content. That goes on your Facebook page twice a month. It goes out to Twitter 3 times a week, and you tag Harvard Business Review in it as well, because they may retweet it. And if they retweet it, then, then that brings more people to your Twitter following. And if there's other people being quoted in there, I would definitely be tagging them. So are there other people being quoted in there, David?
I think so. It was I haven't seen a final product. It was a compilation on a topic about dealing with a passive aggressive coworker. So it was from a previous life that I was quoted. I'm not even sure if they're going to use names. So it may not be one where I can connect, but I made a connection with somebody there who may be willing to read a pitch from me in the future. So that's
exactly what I was just going to say. That is the key with Haro. It might not be exact. I can speak on a ton of topics. I'm a mom. I'm an entrepreneur. I've owned brick and mortar retail. There's a lot of things I can talk about. So sometimes it might not be that instant gratification of the link back to your website. But if that journalist writes about your other topic as well, it's a great way to build that relationship with somebody.
Right.
Yeah. I did a Haro for somebody I know, just shot it over real quick, and he ended up getting an interview, and she emailed me today and she said, that was one of the best interviews I've done. If you have other people you work with like that, I want them on my show. And she's got like 10 million listeners on her radio show.
Wow.
So it's huge, yeah. But it's all building relationships. It's all about.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
All right.
Well, thank you. I won't stay on and let somebody else have the chance.
Yeah, I'm so glad you jumped in. It was good to see your face.
Yes, nice to see you both.
All right. Take care, David. If anybody else wants to jump in, please do. You know, as you can see, Christina and I are more than willing to help you determine a strategy for you. So Christina, just so you know, my phone just beeped while we were talking, and so Christina and I, we talk about this. We have a few different customers that we work on together, but one of the customers, Christina pitched sending their product to Dancing with the Stars, and they responded to them. Dancing with the Stars responded to them and said they want the product in their hands when they start their new season in March.
Well, so, and you have to share the crazy stuff you have to do, guys. Sometimes it's all about guerrilla marketing. I mean, I have been crazy successful with what I do because I'm not afraid to pick up the phone or do something crazy. So we've been trying to get to Dancing with the Stars, and we found the people, but we couldn't get an email address. And I'm a huge Washington Capitals fan, and one of our players, Brooks Like, is engaged to Julianne Hough from Dancing with the Stars. And don't you think that I didn't give her a box of our client's product? And I'm like, Julianne, look. And as soon as I told her what it was, her whole face lit up. So it could be that she took it back to them, and then they responded because she thought it was the greatest thing ever.
Well, I think that's hilarious. I kind of wish I was there to watch you across Julianne Hough at a professional hockey game and hand a product at her.
And I said to my husband, like, let's get in this line to get food. I just have a feeling she's going to walk by. And I swear she walked by. He's like, what? You're crazy. Like,
not only are you crazy, you're a witch.
Yeah, I am. I had some funny stories about that. But, she did. I just knew it was going to work because they need that product. That's all mindset, guys. That's another thing. I'm a huge proponent of mindset. That's big for 2016. Get your mind wrapped around how successful you're going to be and how great you are at what you do, and just that it's going to be a great year.
And remember that it's not sales as much as it is you're giving people access to something that really could change their life or change their world, right? So many of my clients worry so much in social media about them being too pushy, and I don't want to just be selling. And at the end of the day, I haven't done my job right if I haven't really changed my client's business for the better when they're done with me. So if I don't get my name, so if we didn't get this product in the hands of the Dancing with the Stars people, we have a lot of, there's some, it's an awesome product. So hopefully we'll be able to tell you more about that in the spring. That would be fun.
I know, excited.
Hey, video guy, where's your
the video guy's got no video. What's up with that?
I know.
I was afraid to put anything. I don't want to be like I was overtaken or anything like that. but I can. Hold on.
All right.
That's one of my products, the video Christmas card.
Oh, how cool.
Oh, it's awesome.
That is awesome. Very cool. So what do you do besides video Christmas cards?
Hold on a minute. I've started off doing commercials and that type of stuff locally, and then I picked up live stream, and then now I've discovered Blab, and I've got some big plans for 2016 coming up for Blab.
Like what?
I want to start my own local video talk show host show, concentrated on promoting local events and that type thing, and selling sponsorships, selling commercials where that can be seen. This minicam program is awesome. That's what I use to do the videos and commercials and text and everything. It's pretty cool. Then I've spoken with a local retired brigadier general who has lots of stories to talk about from being in the military, and has a ton of connections high up, including people on the Trump team and the Ted Cruz team. And we're looking into getting that started first year with bringing some of those people on board.
Wow.
See, back to my politics is going to be everything PR in 2016.
It is, and if Blab is going to be the next big step when it comes to politics and campaigning.
You know, we talked a little bit about this, about how, you know, as a candidate, can you really risk just jumping on a live stream and being, you know, organic with your conversation? Because so much of what they do is pre-organized, pre-planned, and obviously with the debates and things like that, it's more free-flowing talk. But even that, they are drilled, right, about these questions.
Oh, yeah.
So I wonder if they'll be able to jump on platforms like this and just talk and answer questions without that you know, I mean, I don't know. Are they worried about what they might say? I guess.
Yeah.
Well, that's when I was talking to the general. He said that's the good thing about this platform. You can pretty much say what you want to say without anybody, you know, with any bad repercussions or anything like that. And that's one of the things that he liked so much about it was the openness about it, and the way you can communicate with the people on the right hand as in the chat.
Right. Oh, it's fabulous. It's fabulous.
Karen, there's your first blog post for 2016. Is politics and live streaming.
Yeah, that's right.
I know. Write that down. Hold on. I'm gonna write that down. I just had a conversation with somebody today going, I need new blog post ideas. Perfect.
Okay, time for another shameless plug. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
Is that audio playing?
No. Oh, very cool. Very cool. So it's a squiggly. Love the song. Want to dance.
Those are some of my clients over the last 3 or 4 years.
Beautiful. So how do you use social media to get new business?
Mainly Facebook is where 90% of my clients come from. Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's great. Have you gotten the Facebook Live personal profile ability yet?
Wait a minute, let me scoot this thing to the end. I want you to see the very last part. Wait, back up here. Okay, hold on. And those are old numbers right there. I don't know who that guy is. This is my son. He was on the trampoline at the top of the yard. Flips backwards.
I know I want to see this.
And whoosh.
Oh, wow.
Nothing but net. Hold on.
Wow. I'm impressed. Well, Christina's at the hockey games. I'm at the basketball games. So yeah. I'm impressed.
That almost made it onto America's Favorite Videos. Got down to the very last little bit, and they decided not to show it.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Very cool. So we were talking a little bit. You said you're doing Facebook, but are you using live stream now to get business?
I was using live stream, and I was having issues when I would go to a facility that didn't have a good Wi-Fi signal. So now I'm almost 100% with Meerkat. I've never, ever had an issue with Meerkat as far as live streaming.
Really?
Yeah. It's a whole lot, it's so much more dependable.
Karen knows I'm doing a huge event in January, and as I'm talking with at Capital One, it never dawned on me that they're a high security financial, business. They've got firewalls. They're like, you can't do live streaming in here. It's like, oh no.
Yeah,
You can't get guest access, Christina.
Yeah, we can, but it'll go slower. We're going to ask people not to use it, so we can. We have a live streaming. We figured out a plan B, but we're also going to try it.
Yeah, the success to a live stream is your Wi-Fi signal and how you get the invitation out to the event, I think.
Okay.
Right. Interesting. So you're talking about doing a local show on Blab. How does that work? Like, why only local?
Well,
because Blab is really not local.
Well, it's going to be featured. It's going to be an ex-mayor, so she knows a lot of people and have a lot of contacts, and there's automatic trust built in with that. And like the first show we're working on is a local author who's going to come on and talk about his book. And it's going to be an hour show. And the way I'm running it is like a radio show. You got the first 30 seconds is your intro. The first 15 minutes is the host talking about the show. Then you have 1 minute of commercials. Then you come back with 15 minutes of an interview and another minute of commercial. That's how I've got it all timed out to right within an hour's time. And it's going to feature local people, but obviously with the connections that the host has, hopefully we'll be able to go to a little bit wider audience than just local people. And definitely with the general, I mean, it's the numbers that he's talking about and the connections that he has. It's crazy. It's going to be huge.
Well, that's what makes the world go round. It's, who do you know? And I always say it's not always who you know, but it's who they know.
That's right.
Right.
That's how I've got some great press connections, is just in conversation. And somebody says, oh, I know somebody there. I'll make that intro. It's like, oh, okay.
Well, Christina, that circles right back around to the Facebook Live for personal profiles, because it isn't about the people you're connected to, it's who they know.
Yes.
And the more they know about you and what you're doing, and they've never really had this opportunity before to do that, as easily, I think, as the Facebook Live for your personal profiles. So very cool. Very cool. David just put some information in the chat. I'm going to read it so that our podcast listeners can hear this. David, who was on earlier, is saying, thank you, Christina and Karen, plus all others involved. Again, our new product for I'm not going to know if I can say this. Our new product for neck strengthening is called Shingo Amara, and you can find the pre-sale info on our company's main website, lanegainer.com, LANEGAINER.com. I'm David, and I welcome an email at david@bulletbelt.com if you have any questions or suggestions. So for our listeners on iTunes, that was kind of for you guys. But David, I'm really excited to see where you go with this product. I think that my kids are they're no longer involved in sports, but I have three sons and a daughter. Definitely multiple concussions throughout the years, and I think I put a wing on our local emergency room.
I told him that same thing.
So anything that can keep our kids safer and healthier. And I look back at it now and think, was I crazy? Like the things and my daughter, truthfully, cheerleading, I think, was more dangerous than any other sport any of my boys played. I think she had worse injuries. So,
Karen, do you have this blab tied into iTunes?
Not yet, but we will. Our iTunes channel will hopefully be up. We just finished getting the intros and the outros recorded. So now we've got the audio stripped out, and we're going to start by the end of the year. Our iTunes channel will be live with all of our blabs. I think this is like number 14, maybe even.
Yeah, we're a little behind on YouTube too.
So
how do you set that up?
So when you do a blab emails you when the blab is over a video file, an MP4 and an MP3. Right. So the MP3 is just the audio and the video. So all you really need to do to set it up as a podcast is to create. Well, I mean, there's not an all you really need to do. There's a process, and if you Google how do I set up a podcast on iTunes, I'm sure that somebody has created the steps somewhere for you.
Right.
And then basically there's some piece parts to it. We had to create show art. We had to there's things like that. And then once you've got it all set up, then every week that goes by, we chose to do a little editing. So we'll have an intro, an iTunes intro, and we'll also have we're going to have at the end, please subscribe to our iTunes channel.
Okay. So what it is, it's the streams that you've done in the past, right?
Exactly. It'll be,
okay.
We have the audio. We just have to, do a little bit of editing, clean it up a little, because Blab the audio isn't really as crisp as I'd like it to be for a podcast.
We've got a big echo on today. I'm worried about this one.
Yeah. So, and then we'll upload it to iTunes. So that's that takes me right back to my social media 2016. I don't know why this is echoing. That takes me back to the social media plan for 2016, which is exactly Desiree saying, yes. So if you're going to if you're the local business that heard what I was talking about earlier, and you're going to do a Periscope, you can have a playlist on your YouTube channel for your Periscopes. Now those YouTube links become shareable across all your social media, right? And on Blab, you know, for me, the reason we want to use iTunes is because iTunes is a great search engine, right? So I'm hoping that it gets Christina and I in front of new audience, you know, the podcast audience. So that's not really, that's repurposing, but it's repurposing for, it's not really social media. It's really about trying to introduce our audience to new things, or introduce our services to new audiences, right? But yes, once it's up on iTunes, then we can share those links across our social media also. So, and then if I'm going to slide right into the PR, if I want to pitch, right now, not only do I have my Facebook followers, my Twitter followers, I have my Blab followers, and I have my iTunes subscribers and my YouTube subscribers.
Right.
So now I've got bigger numbers to offer people if I'm, you know, if I want to pitch them to be a part of their show.
Yeah, I like what Desiree put up, repurpose marketing.
Yep. Awesome. All right, does anybody else want to jump in real quick? Because we have to wrap this up in a couple of minutes. We're strict on an hour. If anybody else wants to jump in real quick, we'd love to have you. Desiree, if you'd like to jump in, we'd love to see you. If not, maybe, Christine, if you have anything you want to kind of wind this up with. Video guy, I don't even know your name, but thank you for being with us here today. I appreciate it.
Name's Tim. Enjoy talking with you, ladies.
All right,
thank you. And he's at the Video Guy Live, you guys, on iTunes. At the Video Guy Live.
All right, I'm gonna shut that and see if that stops the echoing a little bit. Oh, there we go. All right. Yeah, now we're not. Are you there, Karen? We're not echoing anymore.
Yeah.
So my whole thing is, you know, PR can just be so overwhelming, and people think, oh, I don't have time for it. But if you just kind of map out your expertise, map out the 5 things, the 3 things, the 1 thing that you just can really talk about. If you can niche something down in your industry that makes you different from everybody else in your industry, write it down so it's there. So when you do Harrow, or you're pitching your local newspaper, you start building these relationships with these journalists on social media, you know, you're talking about that particular thing and you become the expert in that area. You know, like, I'm really an expert in DIY PR. That's what I, you know, not publicity as a whole, but really do it yourself. How do you do it? How are you effective? And I have insane results, and my clients have insane results. So that's what I like to pitch. That's what my book is about. Now, can I talk about other things? Sure. I've been on TV for entrepreneurship, for my product, all kinds of things. But to make it easier, that's my one big tip. Find that one thing that makes you different and use that when you do your pitches.
Well, and Desiree's asking, how far in advance do you plan yet stay relevant? Here's the thing, Desiree, a plan can change.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, I'm not going to tell you I have 12 months planned in advance. That's not even close. I know what my marketing calendar is probably for the next 6 months. And then I have some idea of what's going to happen after that.
But I say
it's dynamic, right?
But you're saving that relevance part for above and beyond the evergreen pitches. So you always want to have the 12 that you can just send based on seasonality, you know, various topics, what's going on that month. And then you have your relevant topics that you're going to pitch on top of those as things happen. You know, we were just talking with David about his product is related to this movie that's coming out with Will Smith. That's at that moment we're going to do it. And then he could put on his calendar, oh, the Oscars come out, and, you know, and write on your list if something else happens with Will Smith, or if a professional football player, there's something else that happens with the concussion stuff, that's your trending stuff, your relevant stuff that you're going to jump in on. Oh, and I lost Karen. So, oh, good, Desiree. All right, well, hopefully she comes back, but that's just my big tip. I don't want you to be overwhelmed. Getting publicity is just such a great way to get customers, to establish credibility. And once you have that, you get to start charging more money. You just do. If there's 2 people, and I use a slide when I present of this kind of disheveled guy, and I say, you know, would you hire him as your financial planner? And everybody's like, no, he's a mess. And then you pull up the next slide, and he's got logos across the bottom as seen on CNN, Fox News, would you hire this guy? Well, yeah, because he's credible now. He's got those logos. So just keep that in the back of your mind when you're pitching, and staying relevant and getting that credibility. And it's definitely absolutely worth it. So that's it. It looks like we lost Karen. We're at our hour. So I'll just wrap us up then. Thank you guys for coming today. If we can be of any help, we do workshops every month. I don't have the date of the next one. Usually Karen does, but sign up for our list, PR for Anyone, KarenYankovich.com, and you'll find out about our workshops and things that we do. And we're here every Thursday at 2:30. I don't know who our next guest is. I'm not sure if we're off for the holidays. I can't remember, but we'll send emails out and tweets out. And Karen just said she's having internet issues, so she won't be back. So thank you guys, and we'll see you next Thursday at 2:30.
Thanks for joining us today on our Blab series, Get Seen, Be Heard. If you've missed any episodes, you can always find us at www.getseenbeheardtv.com/YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you'll always be notified when we upload a new episode. We work together with clients, helping them combine social media and PR to get more customers and grow their business. If that sounds like something you'd like to learn more about, visit us at www.soartoprofit.com. We have regular workshops where we combine our expertise and show you how to use social media and publicity to get seen and be heard. See you next week.